Hey guys.
Hey friends.
Welcome back to Spaghetti for Your Thoughts podcast. I'm Jenika.
And I'm Greta.
Thanks for joining us again. Episode 6?
I think 6. Woo woo.
Wow, we're really cruising.
We're making it happen.
Thanks for listening if you still are.
I know. We are back to just our usual shenanigans this week. We do have a game planned and a few topics prepared, but
most of them are just my rants because I get really frustrated about lots of random things throughout the week, and I like to talk about them.
I think we can all relate to that. Do you have one to just get us right out of the gate?
Well, I thought first of all we could share with the people how we decided to name our podcast Spaghetti for Your Thoughts.
Fair enough.
Because I have received some questions from people in my circle.
Oh, really? Have you?
Why? And so I thought maybe we should explain the sad story behind this.
Okay,
this
so
name.
If you listened to episode 1, we did throw out some name ideas in there, and some were slightly okay contenders.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them were kind of flops, and then we're like, oh, what should we do? Let's do what everyone else is doing these days.
It's embarrassing.
And
use
Chat
GPT.
Aww.
I know.
So we entered prompts just to get the ball rolling in our brains.
We weren't ever planning on using one of those names. I was like, I just have no ideas.
Do it for, I think, what I would ever use ChatGPT for, which is like, let me just help get my brain exercising. Let me warm up here.
Right. And get some ideas. But then
well, the thing was, we entered different prompts like, we are girls, we're friends, we like decaf coffee, we're Christians, we talk about funny stuff. So then they really took the Christian thing and were like, holy friends. Like, it was bad. And then we're like
podcast.
Yeah, stuff like that where it's like clever, but that is so not the message. And so then we kept going, be more eccentric, be funnier,
be quirky.
Yeah, quirky was the word we kept using. And so finally it sort of got vague to the point of like, Spaghetti for Your Thoughts.
And we were like, oh, that's so cute.
It's so cute. Well, because the whole thing of like girls' brains are spaghetti brains. That's sort of what I think about versus the man brain, which is a waffle brain. Like, it's everything jumbled up all at once.
We haven't even talked about that, but that is exactly what I visualize.
Exactly,
too.
Same. So it's like, it's all kind of a jumble, which if you've been listening, you know that's exactly what's been happening.
A jumble of thoughts.
It truly is. So that's the tea on that.
There you go. That's why we named it Spaghetti for Your Thoughts.
Sorry if you guys thought we were clever and we're not. Oh,
I know.
Big spoiler. Welcome. Anyway.
Okay, so one thing I do want to rage about a little bit.
Yes, okay.
I was getting onto the freeway the other day.
Always a good start.
The driving, man. I have bad road rage, I think.
It has gotten to the point where I'm like, am I just getting old? Am I cranky?
think it's that mixed with the traffic these days.
It's horrible. I'm like, should I leave my house? No, thank you. Not worth it.
No, if it's before 9 o'clock, it's a bad time, and if it's after 2 o'clock, it's a bad time. So your window starts to get very small.
And depending on where you're at, it's like, oh, it's lunch hour, so everyone's driving around to get their lunch.
Yeah. So anyway, my road rage has gotten increasingly worse over the years.
Same.
I've always had it, but it's just gotten worse.
Right on.
But anyway, I was getting onto the freeway, and this car was just like going so slow, and I was getting stressed. I'm like, bud, we are getting onto the freeway, and there's cars, flying by.
You're like, do you know where you are, young man?
And I've like had this experience before. So I wrote, the on-ramp is for speeding up, people. In my notes.
Yes.
That's what it was created for.
Well, I'm sorry for those of you who took driver's ed like us, where it's like, here's some steps to get on the freeway. Get up to speed.
Exactly.
Am I not looking in your eyes enough?
No, you were looking so much into my eyes. I was getting uncomfortable.
Jenika just waved her hand in front of my face like, focus in,
she
girl.
Was glossing over.
I was glossing over.
It was freaking me out.
But anyway,
all this to say, it's unsafe, ultimately.
Yes. Well, that's
when we're getting on the freeway at 40, that's not appropriate.
But do you ever like go, come on, bud, like drive like you mean it, and then you drive by and you're like, oh, it's a little old lady.
Yeah, I have gotten in. No.
Yeah.
This one in particular was not, but I have definitely done that before, and I just feel really guilty about it.
Yikes.
But also, I feel like since I've gotten my new car, it like has a turbo engine or whatever.
And so you're like, let's go, boys.
And it can speed up so quickly and so smoothly that I don't even notice how fast I'm going. So I'm one of those annoying people on the freeway now that's like buzzing through different lanes to try to get past people.
Speaking of that, okay, this is a little different, but I went rollerblading a couple nights ago.
Whoa, she's pivoting.
I am, because this is actually kind of about going past people. First of all, when I left the rollerblading place. I was going home.
The rollerdrome.
The rollerdrome. I was going home. I was still in the mindset of like, get past everybody. Don't mow people down. So I was like weaving through traffic on the freeway.
It's fun, right?
It was so fun.
I know.
So I was like, wait, this isn't who I am. But I was still in like my rollerblading headspace.
I feel like Tron. I'm like,
yeah, definitely.
Wait, so pause. You went rollerblading this week?
Went rollerblading a couple nights ago with Aaron.
Oh my goodness, that's so fun.
It was really
Why didn't you
fun.
invite me? No,
because I got free tickets.
Did you blade or?
I bladed. I brought my blades.
Brought your own.
Laced up, got out there. It was a hoot. But that...
Okay, because have you been blading recently?
No, it's been like 9 months.
Okay, Greta used to have, well, last year, was it?
Yeah.
You got into your...
Yeah, my New Year's resolution last year was to just try a new hobby. So I went to Scheels and bought myself some rollerblades and had a blast all summer until it got too hot and too smoky to do so.
Right, and then you just never picked it back up.
Exactly. So 2 nights ago was a blast because I was out there. And it's nice to not be rollerblading through a neighborhood because I was like, I don't have to stop.
There's no bumps in the road.
Although the biggest bumps in the road that night were the children.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a minefield.
No kidding.
It was frightening. And then also they were handing out candy necklaces.
Fun.
Which, when's the last time you had one of those?
It's been a minute.
I know. I didn't even eat mine. I just put it around my wrist and was like, this smells delicious.
Wait, was it a bracelet? A candy bracelet?
I mean, it was a necklace, but like, check out this head. It ain't getting over that. I actually got home. I was like, I'm going to get this thing over my neck.
Choker.
So it was like a choker. It was actually cute.
Yeah.
I didn't want to risk it in public trying to put that over my head.
It like tumbles all over the floor and everyone falls over everywhere.
I can't even count how many times the person working at the rollerdrome over the intercom was like, do not bring your candy necklaces onto the rollerdrome. They had to stop like twice to sweep up beads.
You didn't want to be part of that problem.
Yeah, and like a girl broke her ankle while we were there. It was a whole thing.
Because she tripped on one of the necklace beads?
That's the lore.
Oh, that's the lore.
But anyway, it was terrifying, like trying not to trample children. I felt like I was in dire Wimpy Kid 3, but
oh my goodness, that scene is incredible. Is that Roger Girls, that's number 2.
Okay, yeah, delightful. Anyway, so yeah, went rollerblading. That was a hoot.
Oh my goodness, that's so fun. I feel like I've been wanting to do something like that to feel like a kid again. But
well, we should go because it was a hoot.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
A hoot.
Okay,
anyway, moving on.
Should we do our game really quick?
Let's do our game. So, friends, we're quickly running out of ideas to do audio games, but one that came up in our minds today was, I don't even know how to describe it.
You're trying to get someone to guess an iconic movie or show
by just giving a vague synopsis of what it is. For example, I don't really have an example.
Do the Cinderella example.
So, for example, maybe if you're trying to guess Cinderella or have Jenika guess Cinderella, I would say, girl wears uncomfortable fancy shoe, man loses her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a great way of doing it.
No, but that's
gives
them
the
an
idea.
Okay.
So we each, before we started here, wrote down a couple ideas for TV shows and movies, and we're going to try to get the other person to guess what it is. And you at home can play along, see if you beat us or think it's ridiculous.
Okay, great. You start because I don't have as many as you.
Okay.
I'm excited. Is this a movie?
This is a movie.
Okay.
Girl leaves her family, jumps off several buildings.
Divergent.
I wasn't even done. Yes. My last one was, and gets a tattoo.
That would have given it away.
That was easy.
That was an easy one.
You killed it.
It was the buildings for me.
Really? I wasn't even going to include that, but I was like, oh, maybe she'll need a little extra help. Apparently, that was too much.
I just gave it right away.
Oh, my word. The buildings. I'm telling you, because I was chuckling to myself when I was writing it. I was like, she jumps off of a great amount of buildings.
She really does. Well, she's divergent. She's
she's divergent. All divergent people love to jump off buildings. Don't you know?
What's their thing that she's
dauntless.
She's dauntless. So that's kind of their bag,
right? I mean, they start that way. But I was even thinking about like in The Sims, she's jumping off of buildings.
You know that song where she runs? Sorry,
run, boy, run.
Yes,
that song got overplayed so fast.
I liked it though.
Delicious, but still.
Okay, here's my first one.
Can't wait.
This is a movie.
Yep.
Girl is mad about gender norms. Decides to stick it to the man and wins while finding her man along the way.
Oh my word. This is definitely She's the Man. I was going to say Motocross.
These are too easy.
I don't think that's easy though.
Okay.
Because people at home, was that obvious to you? Probably to like our sisters.
I think it was obvious.
I don't know. Some people haven't seen that though.
I think I shouldn't have said man in there.
That like triggered my brain. Was like, oh, she's the man.
Yeah.
Oh my word. I've only seen that movie once.
You know what line me and Julia love from that movie?
What?
When she's like trying to reference a guy, she's like, bro, brother, brethren.
Oh my word, that's so funny. I've only seen it one time, and every time I think of that movie, I just think about the eyebrows she wears. I don't know why. Doesn't she put on fake eyebrows?
She puts on fake
sideburns. That's what it is. Oh my word. It's kind of believable.
No, she really lives.
It's sort of like when you watch Freaky Friday and your brain does believe
right. If you suspend your disbelief for a second,
I kind of forget that she isn't a man when I watch She Is the Man.
Really?
I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far, but
kind of like you start to get into the character. You're like, okay, I believe it.
That's true.
Okay, my next one is, let's do my other movie. Okay, beautiful lady falls in love with a player from the other side of town.
Oh.
They share a carby meal.
Okay, read it one more time.
Beautiful lady falls in love with a player from the other side of town.
A player?
Like a playa. He's a playa.
Oh, a playa. Okay.
Yeah. They share a carby meal.
It's not what's that? Is it a dancing movie? It's not Step Up, is it?
I was literally going to put Step Up in my movies, but then I was like, that literally sounds like my last synopsis I just did, which is this one.
Okay, see, that's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah, it's a trope for sure.
Beautiful girl falls in love with a player from the other side of town.
Hint, I did say beautiful lady.
Oh. Is it Lady and the Tramp?
Correct.
Nuh-uh.
Yes. Well done. Well done.
That's hilarious because those are dogs.
Yeah, and a carby meal is the iconic moment. Spaghetti.
Oh, I love that, Greta.
It was okay.
That's cute. No, it's really cute.
God bless.
Okay. This is mine. It's a movie.
Okay.
Underwater creature goes after others.
Is this Finding Nemo?
No.
Oh, see, that would be good.
Yeah, it would.
Underwater creature. Oh, it's got to be like a mermaid of some kind.
Goes after others.
Others of the same kind?
I don't know.
I like this. This is very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Underwater creature. So I really feel like it's some kind of fish, but I feel like it's a mermaid for some reason.
It's not a mermaid movie.
Really? And it's not like Finding Nemo.
Think classic.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No.
I would not guess you to say that. I might be stumped on this one, Jen.
I will give you a hint.
Okay.
TMJ.
What does that mean? Is that a person's name? Oh, no.
Okay.
TMJ.
Do you want me to
Michael Jackson?
Do you want me to tell you?
Wait, what's TMJ? Tell me what that means. Is this a name of an actor that I don't know? Like RDJ? That kind of thing?
TMJ is like when
too much juice?
When your jaw gets locked up.
What? Is that a euphemism? I don't like it. It sounds naughty.
Okay, think about TMJ.
Too much jaw.
I don't actually know what the...
Oh, great. We're just throwing out nasty things that we don't understand.
Underwater creature goes after others.
Ursula.
Here's your hint. I've only seen half this movie.
Oh. Did I watch this with you?
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. Oh, I don't...
It's a Disney movie.
Okay, I'm telling you.
Tell me.
It's Jaws.
Oh, my word. Too much jaw.
No, TMJ. It's like Jaws. Like cracks.
I'm mewing.
And you like bite your teeth and it gives you TMJ.
Yikes, this is a condition? I'm so hung up on this TMJ thing. I don't even care about Jaws right now.
Let's get back
to this condition or euphemism we're talking about. Jaws. Okay.
Jaws.
That's classic.
Yeah,
Goes after others. Okay, I like it.
I actually don't know the premise of it, but I think it's just that
basically,
shark eats people.
The shark eats people, and then
it's like tormenting that area.
And this fisherman and other guys are like, we're gonna go get him. And that's basically it, to my knowledge.
Okay, I should have... See, if I would have known the movie, I would have added that element.
But like also... Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, sorry, that was
okay.
bad.
No, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. Okay. I have two more, both TV shows.
Okay.
The first one is stay-at-home moms want a little more fun money.
Oh, Good Girls.
Yeah, duh.
Nice one.
I also wrote a hint for it. My hint is neck tattoo.
Oh, my star. Your hint should have been mama.
Mama. Hey, mama.
Hey, mama.
Okay, your turn.
A wacky group ends up getting very close, and not by choice. They were supposed to stay strangers, but the ocean had a different plan.
Okay, up until the ocean thing, I was like, oh, it's Breakfast Club.
Oh, sure.
But see, that's why I'm thinking, oh, this must be a pretty general trope.
Oh, this is a show, by the way.
Okay, group of strangers.
A wacky group ends up getting very close and not by choice. They were supposed to stay strangers, but the ocean had a different plan.
It's Moana. No, it's a TV show. Okay. The ocean had a different plan. Do I know this? Is it Lost?
No. Oh, but okay. You definitely know this.
What? You and I watched this together?
Well.
Okay, I wonder if it's the same as mine.
And we it's just a show.
I'm almost stumped.
I can't believe I thought this one would be so easy for you.
Ocean had a different plan.
They were supposed to. This is going to give it away. But
okay, I can't wait.
They were supposed to only be in each other's presence for about 3 hours.
Gilligan's Island! Yes. Oh my word, I love that. That's so cute.
I thought for sure you'd get that one so easy.
Okay, the problem was my brain was so not in classics.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like
what current show is this?
Exactly.
Yeah. What in Netflix is
this? Okay, this is my last one.
Okay.
TV show. And it's just 2 words. And I think this is hilarious. I crack myself up.
Okay, I'm so excited.
Swamp Riverdale.
Wait, this is a show?
Yes.
Swamp
Riverdale.
So it's like a show that's Riverdale-y.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in a swamp.
Correct. I mean, both are very generalizations, but I think it's funny.
Also, that's hilarious. I just can't think of what that would be.
I think you're gonna disagree when I tell you.
Oh, actually. Really?
Kind of.
Are you referencing like an actual swamp? Like water? Or are you referencing like the... Okay. Swamp Riverdale. This is a show? You said?
Yep. It's a TV show.
I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it The Summer I Turned Pretty?
No. I've never seen that. I don't know the details.
I'm going to need you to tell me.
Okay. It is Outer Banks.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I didn't get
Swamp
that.
Riverdale,
yes, that
Outer
makes
Banks.
sense. But also it's not like Riverdale.
I know it's not. But I feel like if you were trying to sell it to a teenager, you'd be like, have you seen Riverdale? I mean, if you like Riverdale, you'll probably like Outer Banks.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, it's more sophisticated than that, okay?
Well, okay, Riverdale is just like so dark.
True.
And I'm worried that that's what they're going to do with Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know like when Jenna Ortega was talking about like what it would look like for season 2, she's like, I want it to be more geared towards horror elements. And like I want it to just get like darker, essentially, is what she was saying. I feel
like the reason it was so successful was because it was just quirky.
Yeah. And in my teacher brain, I'm like, oh shoot, all my little 5-year-olds who watch Wednesday are of course going to watch this because parents don't preview things like they should. Yeah. And then they're going to be tormented with these horrible things.
Well, and that's the thing. I remember like at Comic-Con, I sell Wednesday art, and the demographic that likes it is like the 7-year-olds. Yeah, and I'm like, so my word, you watch that?
I know.
And it's not like it's the worst thing a kid could watch, but I wouldn't necessarily let my kid watch it.
At that age, I would have been scared of
well, that too. Exactly. I wouldn't have handled it.
But I mean, you guys watched like Lord of the Rings and stuff when you were that age.
No, I watched that when I was like 13.
But wasn't Cade like young?
Probably, but he's brother? The youngest. The youngest kids always have a trial by fire.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true. Yep.
Did you have any more for me, or was that it?
Oh, that's all of the ones that I came up with.
Okay.
And that's all the ones you came up with?
Well, there you go. So folks at home, I wonder how you did. Did you totally get lost there along with me with Jaws and such?
They probably were like yelling at their just like, devices like, are you an idiot?
You stupid girls.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Anywho. Okay, so this week I got my hair cut.
Yes, I love it. It looks so cute.
Thank you. Not what I was fishing for, but I'm just
like,
saying,
that's it. That's all I needed.
That's all. I got my haircut. Did you notice?
Oh my word, imagine.
No. But then I was thinking, because I normally, like for my whole life, I've only ever gotten haircuts at like in the summer, like right before the school year starts or whatever. Like that's when we got our haircuts.
Right.
So like this week or a couple weeks back, I'm like, oh, my hair is driving me nuts, but I guess I just have to wait till summer to deal with it. And I'm like,
you're like, hello.
All of a sudden I realized A, I'm an adult, and B, I have free will. And I'm like, I could literally make myself a hair appointment right now.
I love
that. And
I
did, and I've never felt so free.
It's very weird to cash in your adult chip.
It is. I'm like, I have freedom to pick up the phone and go get my hair cut and pay for it myself. And
you don't need to run it by anybody. You gotta be like, hey mom, can I get my hair cut early?
Right.
Go for it, kid. The adventure begins.
But anyway, I've just been seeing a lot of videos online that are like, realizing I have free will or whatever. And they're always so funny.
They're so funny. The first two that I remember seeing of that, it was a while ago, but one person like stood on their fridge. They're like, because I can. And another guy, I think I showed you this one, but he was just laying on his kitchen table eating a block of cheese just from the wrapper. He's like, why not? I bought this. I'm just going to have some cheese.
I'm going to have cheese for dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like that one I sent you the other day of that guy. He's like standing there stirring his pasta or whatever. And he's like, oh, my back. And then he's like, and it's the text is remembering I have free will, and he like pulls a chair over and sits down and continues stirring, and he's like giddy about it.
It's the little things. I remember reading a whole post about it where this girl drove by like the zoo was going to have a butterfly exhibit. And she's like, all through growing up, I would always ask my mom, like, can we go to this? Can we go to this? And she's like, oh, hold on. I'm just going to go to the exhibit myself.
Oh, that's
like,
so fun.
We really should tap into these things more.
I know. I love being an adult.
It's
for so many reasons.
The benefits are much better to me than the cons at this point.
There's a lot of cons, definitely. But
the autonomy cannot be overlooked.
It's true.
Delicious.
Okay, not to change.
Please.
But so St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's already have been passed by the time this goes out. So
sure.
Hope you guys had a good St. Patty's.
I hope you watched Luck of the Irish and had some green pancakes. And
well, me and Jules' new tradition is to watch Luck of the Irish on St. Patrick's Day, and we have a bowl of Lucky Charms when we do it, and it's so cute.
That's so
fun.
Cute. I love it.
Anyway, tapping into my autonomy. Like,
yes, that's what I can
just have cereal.
Buy cereal. Cereal's delicious.
Watch a movie with my sister.
I love it. It is delicious.
Anyway,
yes.
So on St. Patrick's Day for my kids at school, we make leprechaun traps, and then the leprechaun comes overnight, you know. So before I leave, I like put little footprints around the room and like make it destroyed because he's tricky and
it's so cute. So for the footprints, don't you like dip a Barbie shoe?
Yes. So my old coworker gave me like a little Barbie shoe, and it has like a pencil in the where the leg would go.
Foot,
and then I like dip that in paint, and then I like put those little prints around.
Cute.
So anyway, I use a Barbie shoe, and Caitlin, when she does it for her first grade kids, she used her whole like hand
to make the footprint,
and then like the toes.
Yes.
And I was talking to someone about, maybe Julie or something, about like the size of leprechauns, because I'm like, okay, Caitlin's leprechaun is huge.
That's like the size of like a 3-foot person.
Yeah, and that made me so uncomfortable to think of that walking like, around the classroom.
Into her school,
also, like, why can I see each of his toes? Where are his shoes?
Ew, so not only is this grizzly tiny man coming into the school, but he's like barefoot and like looking around her classroom.
So I was like, okay, leprechauns are not that big. In my mind, a leprechaun is like 3 inches tall. So I was curious to know how big you think a leprechaun is when you think about them.
Definitely bigger than yours.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but like what you said rang so true to me about Caitlin's leprechaun being creepily large.
It's too big.
But to me, it's like the size of like a cute garden gnome you'd get at Walmart, where he's like a solid foot.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's a solid foot.
Have you seen Luck of the Irish?
I have. And
because
they, like,
the mom
minuscule?
gets tiny.
She's like the size of the matchbox in the car.
Yes. When she puts her seatbelt on, it takes up almost her whole body.
Oh my word.
The seatbelt.
But see, that's the thing about like old Disney Channel movies is they make the most uncanny choices. Like,
but that's tiny. In my brain, because I grew up with that movie. True. I'm like, that's how big a leprechaun would be.
But that's why it's weird that Caitlin's like, for some reason, my leprechaun is the size of like a small dog.
A small man. Do you have memories of a leprechaun coming to your classroom?
When you guys brought this up to me a couple years ago, like, oh yeah, the leprechaun came to the classroom. Like,
you were like, what are you talking
about? What the poo? I was like, leprechauns aren't real. I never as a child thought they were real.
Really?
No.
I don't know that no, I did, because in first grade, my teacher, we went on like a scavenger hunt of the whole school because he like left us like notes and coins and stuff.
See, that's cute.
And his footprints were everywhere throughout the school, and it was so cool.
A part of American culture
that you miss out on completely.
It's private school. We take things very seriously.
Apparently, they're like, no, we don't have time for games.
We wear uniforms and we frown. We don't listen. We don't have a leprechaun.
We speak Latin and we wear stiff uniforms.
We speak Latin and our lunch boxes cannot have Lisa Frank on them.
No. Were you not allowed to pick your own binders and stuff?
We could pick our own binders, but they could only be a color. They couldn't have a pattern.
That's a jail.
Well, apparently. I mean, in hindsight, I was like, oh, it'd be so cool. But I always saw other people with, like their Lisa Frank folders and their their Incredible Hulk stuff, and I was like, that's messy.
Oh, so you were like all high and mighty about it.
I was like, I mean, I wanted to have that stuff, but I was also like, we are superior.
You just felt that way because you were jealous.
Probably.
It was your brain's way of coping with the fact that you couldn't.
Actually, I feel so seen and called out right now.
Are we in therapy session
I think
right
this is happening. I never go to
Greta's dealing with her old traumas as we speak.
That's why, like, at special school events, that's when you could really tell who people were because they wore their normal people clothes, and you're like, right, like, she's cool.
Yeah, you're like, I never knew she was cool.
It's just funny because they have, like, you know how in what's that movie where she's a princess?
Princess
Diaries. Yeah, they're like, uniforms are equalizers. I'm going to tell you something.
There's ways around it.
There are ways around it. Yeah. If you have a cool buckle on your flat, we know she's a cool girl.
On your flat? Oh, like your shoes?
Like, if a girl had, like, a charm on her shoe, you're like, she's a cool girl. And you just knew. So it was the tiny little things.
That's interesting. Was it, like, their hairstyles and stuff, too?
Yep, definitely.
Could you guys wear makeup?
You could wear makeup, but I left school before we really got into that. But that's also where you separate the men from the boys a little bit.
Yes.
And the girls could also dye their hair different colors too, but not like pink and blue and stuff like that.
Okay, dye your hair, but don't have a Lisa Frank folder.
That's the thing. If a girl like dyed her hair black over the summer, you're like, oh, she outside of school, that's it.
She means business.
She means business.
She is the coolest
She's
girl
the cool
around.
Girl. Exactly. Very funny. But no, we did not have leprechauns. We did like Christmas stuff, but you know, Santa wasn't a huge part of the culture there. And like,
did you guys have like, please tell me you were able to pass out like Valentine's?
We did do Valentine's.
Okay, good. Because that's a highlight of my school career.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Writing the kids' names, getting the list of students.
And just like picking the Valentine, like this one has a puppy on it. So I'm giving giving
this to Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb.
Oh, my crush will get this one with the tattoo.
Oh my word. I want him. He looks so good with that tiny little heart on his wrist. I'll know he liked it when he wears that. No, it was so fun.
Those little heart stickers that you would like close the Valentine with, you know?
And there's always like way more left over.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm gonna save these, but for what?
Okay, so like when you have children, you're not doing Santa, that's criminal.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do stockings.
So who's filling those? Just mom and dad?
Yeah, and like they'll know Santa, but we're like, Santa's not a real person.
Okay, but can they pretend that Santa's
if
real?
They would like? But my children won't be weird like that.
They might be.
My child just delusions himself and be like, Mom and Dad told me this
I'm still gonna pretend he's real.
Yeah, just for my own whatever.
So will you do leprechauns?
Again, leprechauns are not in my line of fire at all. I just don't even get it. I still don't get it.
Will you do the tooth fairy?
I don't think so. Because to me, the tooth fairy is just like, again, the same reason I'm not doing Santa. I'm not going to do the tooth fairy. Plus, more work for me. I might give them money.
Right.
But again, it's like, the tooth fairy's not real. Here's a quarter. Go enjoy inflation.
Well, speaking of times changing.
Oh my,
kids these days are getting like $20 bills for losing a tooth.
The most money you got for losing a tooth?
$1 with 4 quarters.
Yep, 4 quarters. Exactly. How did you do it? Did you put it under your pillow?
We put it in the cup of water.
We did too. Okay, maybe this is from our moms. Must be what they did.
Maybe.
What's the point of that?
I don't know what the water was for, to make it not stink.
That's the thing. Can't we just set the tooth on the windowsill?
Right. Like, or put it in like one of those little tooth necklace containers.
Why not just under the pillow?
Right. Some people have really cute like tooth pillows.
I have a tooth pillow.
You do?
Mm-hmm. My friend's mom made me one.
And you didn't use it?
Shout out to Laurel. I know you're out there somewhere. I never used it because I think it was a little bit after I'd lost all my teeth. But yeah, it had a cute little pocket.
You're like a little too late, my friend.
It's so cute. I still have it because I love it.
Oh my goodness, I need to see this.
I'll show it to you.
I'm so excited. Was it small?
It's like the size. Yeah, it was like a foot by a foot. And it had like fairies all over it, and then a little pocket that had a tooth on it.
Okay.
It's really cute.
That is precious.
Yeah, definitely. I will take it into my future. Maybe I'll use that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Your kids should put their teeth in there.
Yeah, but the tooth fairy won't exist, so. But you're going to do all that.
I'm doing it all.
So you're going to do leprechaun with your own children too?
Yeah.
Man, we are on this leprechaun thing.
It brings me such joy. Like when my students come in and all they talked about all day was how the leprechaun messed up our classroom and look what the leprechaun did this also, and like we go out to the playground, any little thing they think the leprechaun did, all of a sudden they're like, they find like a piece of trash, they're like
the leprechaun did
I wonder if the leprechaun left this piece of trash, and I'm like, guys,
so
maybe.
I love that kind of thing. And for you're like, hey, this mixes up my day, it makes my day
it was so fun, and I just get so much joy from it, so I can't wait to do that with my own kids.
I'm surprised you don't do like the elf on the shelf in your classroom. Is that something teachers do? Teachers do that?
Some teachers do that, and a 4th grade teacher this year actually gave me her elf on the shelf.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm going to start it next year if I'm still around.
I think you should, because that's the thing too, is like, I'm not going to do Santa, but on Facebook, I follow this Elf on the Shelf group because I'm so entertained by like what they do with them. And I'm like,
the shenanigans.
Looks really fun, actually.
I feel like you'd be so good at that. I will never do Elf on the Shelf for my own children because it's way too much work to think of a new trick they do every night. No kidding. I'm not doing it.
Well, you know what's funny about it is people still post in the group like during these months, even though Christmas is long
ideas.
Over. People do that, but people will post like, hey, it was my daughter's birthday this week, and all she wanted for her birthday was for the elf to come visit. Like, kids love it. It was so cute. So, and like her birthday wish was that she could hold the elf and have him come on her birthday. So she's like, the elf came and visited her on her birthday, and I let her sleep with him and like hold him.
That's adorable.
It like warms my heart.
You know what video I'm gonna bring up?
The one where she's like, she's holding.
The girl comes up from the basement just like screaming, crying because her brother is like holding the elf,
and she's like, she's holding it. Yeah, and the mom's like, what's going on? What's going on?
The mom thinks they're like dying.
And then she goes downstairs and all her kids are screaming at the top of their lungs. And this little girl's just holding the elf with tears streaming down her face. It makes me laugh without fail.
Oh my
That
goodness.
is in my laugh file on Instagram for when I need a chuckle.
I love that so much. That reminds me of that other video where that little girl's like standing by the door and this like dressed up Santa is in her door.
Oh my word.
And she's just like talking to the Santa and he's like, okay, are you going to be a good little girl? And she's like, yeah. And then she's like interacting with the Santa, and then the Santa walks away and she turns to her mom and she's like, well, I think that was Bob. Like, she's not convinced at all that was Santa. I think she's like humoring Bob.
Yeah, she's just like, Bob needs this more than I do. She probably doesn't even believe in Santa anymore.
No, she's like,
and she's like, poor Bob. My goodness, throw him a bone, that old man.
Throwing Bob a bone.
Throwing Bob a bone.
Something else that frustrates me.
Cannot wait.
So speaking of the leprechaun again.
Hey, take it and run. This is our theme.
So when we were making our traps in class, I was like separating the colored pencils because I wanted to get all the colors of the rainbow so they could do the rainbow colors for the leprechaun traps or whatever. And I was pulling out the blues, and then I was realizing all the blues I was pulling out were purples.
Jen.
And no, I'm just saying, you know how like,
are you okay, go on.
No, I'm not colorblind or anything. I'm just saying they make the purple colors on crayons and colored pencils the same color as some of the blues.
I get what you're saying.
Dark blue.
I get what you're saying.
And purple are the same look.
Are they the exact color, or it's like, oh, there's just a slight shade difference?
There's like a slight shade difference, probably, but not enough to notice it really unless you're reading the little word of what it says.
I totally know what you're saying.
And it's so frustrating because I remember as a kid even like grabbing like a blue and it was purple.
And starting in and be like,
and you're like, well, my whole art project is ruined.
Purple.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%.
And I think there's a couple other colors too that are like too similar.
I understand what you're saying.
Like, why are we doing this?
Well, and like the same thing with crayons, but in a different way where it's like, this is what this crayon color is. And then you start in on the paper, you're like, everything about this crayon advertised that this would look like this.
Oh, but I know what color you're
like
referencing.
That green one?
Oh, the green and yellow.
Are you talking about?
The one that's literally yellow, but
yellow,
it looks lime green. It
looks green, and you're like, maybe in some world this has a green hue compared to yellow, but just when I'm trying to make like a green thing.
Another color is pink, the pink red.
Yes.
Like,
oh my word.
The one that's like that pinky version of red. Yes. My kids always they're like, this isn't red.
It's kind of like a fuchsia, like magenta color, kind of like a deep purpley. Yeah. I know that one's frustrating.
And anyway, I'm just like, can we make these so obvious what color they are? Why are you trying to trick me?
Well, and I don't know about how you were as a kid, but I got so invested in my coloring sheets that if I messed up like that, it destroyed me. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I would be like, oh, I'm not doing the rest of this now.
Yeah.
This has ruined my whole day.
No, I know. One time in second grade, I think I told you this story, but my teacher, we were reading Charlotte's Web, and she printed off coloring sheets, and it was one of those delicious coloring sheets. You know when like there's a bunch of, like, for instance, the pig is pink. Okay, we're already going to love it. The girl has like red hair, and it's like a lot of area for you to color hair. Do you know what I'm saying?
Wait.
Okay, listen, I'm backing up. You know how some coloring pages like, this is going to be fun to color?
No, I 100% agree. Yes. I understand what you're saying.
So mine was a Charlotte's Web coloring
But what doesn't make sense to me about what you just said is you said the pig is pink.
The pig will be pink. And I'm like, imagine going in on this.
Will be.
So I'm like, you're going to go on this with a pink
Wilbur,
crayon?
if you will.
Oh, Jenika Lynn. Snap, crackle, pop.
I know.
I'm impressed.
I know.
Look at you. I'm chuckling. But anyway, what I'm saying is it was going to be a delicious coloring page.
Got you.
And there was this boy in my class.
Did you have a crush on him? I'm sure you did.
I had a crush on every guy in my class at some point.
Oh, so you were one of those.
So if any of you from my school are listening to this, take that and run.
Sorry, she's a taken woman.
I'm a lover, though. I was a lover. But anyway, I don't think I had a crush on this person at that time, especially because of this instance. But he grabbed my coloring page.
Intrigue.
And with like a sharp colored pencil that was not relevant to the page in any way, scratched on Charlotte and Wilbur. Not Charlotte, what's her name? Fern and Wilbur. And I was so upset because I was like, this was a delicious coloring sheet. And I should have just asked the teacher for another one. I'm sure that was an option.
But you know, back in the day.
That like ruined my day. And I
did you cry?
Probably.
Anyway, that's something that frustrated me. Okay.
That is frustrating.
I'm going to do a complete 180.
Do it.
So before we started this podcast, I was telling Greta how I'm like, okay, Greta, I'm going on a date tomorrow.
Yes. Tell me
And she's like, save it for the podcast. And I was like, okay.
I'll save it.
So
for the content,
for the sake of the content, yes, I will share with you guys what I'm doing.
Can't wait.
So anyway, it's really not that interesting.
It's interesting to me.
I've been talking to this guy I want to just talk about the idiosyncrasies. Why can I never say that word?
You say this word every podcast.
Do I really?
Well, you tried last week, but I think we had to cut it.
Did you cut it? Thank you.
Didn't get there.
Will you do that again this time? Idiosyncrasies of like online dating and Hinge and the whole thing is just so weird.
Yep.
So anyway, I've been talking to this guy for like a week now, and it's just one of those things where it's like, it's hard to know what to expect of people on there because I want a man who will like ask me out and like ask for my number and like move things along.
Right.
But then I'm like, well, maybe this guy is just like wanting to really figure out if we're like compatible in any way or like have similar interests before
he does that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I prefer when a guy's like, hey, do you want to go out and get coffee and chat? Like, let's just go see each other instead of all this middle talking. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite show?
But like you said, if that's what he needs from the situation, then maybe you should be like, hey,
so then I start reading into him as a man and I'm like, well, he's not manly. He's not asking me out. He's not. But anyway, so that's why online dating is just a dangerous platform because we read people too quickly before we've even met them.
Yes.
And not to mention even just how they look purely. Like I X somebody if I don't find them attractive or whatever.
Based on a still photograph.
A singular picture of someone, which they could look completely different in person.
Well,
or
and like people move so differently than they look. And like I have never taken a good selfie in my life.
Same.
And I'm like, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So anyway, I hate dating in this day and age.
Jen, I am so sorry.
Online dating, it's just the way people meet nowadays, which is so frustrating to me, but it is what it is, I guess. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
If you can't beat them, join them kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm
going on a date with someone on Sunday. Tomorrow. Well, it'll already be past for you guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how it went.
But I'm also, and then I had liked this other guy a while back before I started talking to this guy. And then he just messaged me like a few days back.
Ooh, Jen, you're in a love triangle already.
No. But the thing about, this is another weird thing with online dating is I'm like, I feel weird and bad for talking to two people at one time, but that's totally normal.
Most people do that.
And a ton of people are talking to 3 or 4 people at the same time and going on dates with different people. And like, that's normal.
Right.
But in my brain,
you're like one and done.
I'm like,
time, please.
This feels like I'm like doing something wrong or something, right?
Well, because maybe part of you thinks if I knew that this guy I'm going out with tomorrow was going to do that too, would that make you feel kind of like, oh, that's icky?
Well, I might feel like, oh, why are you even talking to me if you're also talking to this other person? But then you're like,
but I know who I am and I'm doing that. So also I can't have to give those people the benefit of the doubt too.
No, exactly.
We're all just doing our best.
But all this to say, I don't like dating in this day and age. And I wish I could be a woman in the 50s.
Where we meet at a sock hop.
Where we'd go to a sock hop or we'd go to a diner and a nice solid man would just approach you and say, Hey, want to get a burger tomorrow?
Hey, Toots, want to go to the soda fountain?
Want to get some shakes?
Want to get some shakes? I feel like, I wonder if that's like a cliche for a reason, or if we've just built that up so much in our pop culture that,
like in the 50s, they like, sat at diners and ate those shakes like, in those beautiful glasses.
Exactly, like had an ice cream sundae and like,
yes,
I don't know. So I've lately
probably a little bit romanticized.
Maybe, but like, how are they going to romanticize our generation? Oh, I met him on Hinge.
No, you can't.
How do I make a movie out of that?
Like, romance stories are not romantic anymore.
Maybe that's why there aren't any good rom-coms anymore, is because we don't really have anything to base them on realistically these days.
True.
That's why Hallmark has the edge on the market. They just keep going for it.
They're
like, a man literally bumped into a woman and that's how they fell in love. And I'm like,
true. And that's why we all watch it, because that's what we want.
Exactly.
And that's what we miss.
Exactly. Oh my stars. But I have been thinking lately, I'm like, I know that there's no way to put the genie back in the bottle. I know that online dating is kind of just how people are meeting these days, and it is what it is. But at the same time, I'm like, is there a way we could start up some sort of social gathering at some place?
That could be your mission, Gret.
I know, get all my girls taken care of, because geez Louise, it's crazy out there. But then I'm like, oh, I guess that's what a bar is.
True, but we're not bar who people. Wants to meet someone at a bar? No thanks.
No thank you.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the struggle, and it's real, and I'm so sorry.
I did write, why is there a setting on the toaster to completely burn your toast?
Does it say burn?
No, but like when a 4 is close to being burnt, why is there a 7?
Some people love burnt toast.
No.
Yes, they do.
Black toast.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Black.
My coworker's like, this is how my parents always made it, but that's because my mom forgot about toast all the time, and I just grew to love it.
So now it's nostalgic?
I guess so. Just like eating charcoal is like, the good old days.
Charcoal, I love it.
With a little butter.
Charcoal and butter for breakfast.
You
Yummy.
know how it is. Okay, that is an interesting question. Where do you put your meter?
Like a 2.
A 2?
Yeah.
I'm going for a 4.
I like it like light brown.
Okay, I get that.
Did you say 4?
4.
Okay. I used to,
little black.
There was this thing going around a while back that was like, I used to think that the numbers on the toaster were the level of toastiness.
Okay.
But it's actually the minutes.
I'm the opposite. I always thought it was minute.
No.
Oh, wait. What? I'm confused now.
No, so people are saying that it is minutes, really. Like, in actuality, it is minutes, but we all thought it was just the level of toastiness.
So some people are legitimately putting their toast in the toaster for 7
Okay, but this is what I have to say to that commenter.
Yeah.
Or to that idea. Yeah. I don't think that's true.
Because
I do think it is level of toastiness.
I would say
because I've never put my toast on like 3 and had to wait for legitimately 3 minutes. That's a long time.
Like, think about 45 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think that's true.
It can't be.
Right?
And that's why I thought I was wrong, because growing up, I thought it was minutes. And then I got to the point where I was like, it can't be. It's got to be the level of toastiness.
Exactly.
Also, does bagel setting actually change anything?
It's the same as popcorn setting on a microwave.
Exactly. It's like, is this just a gimmick to make us buy the thing?
I think so.
Can we just stop putting all those bells and whistles on
Have you
stuff?
ever even used the popcorn button?
I have.
Has it worked better than just putting 2 minutes on the clock?
It's 50-50.
What makes it popcorn setting?
So here's what I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, but if you press the popcorn button, certain microwaves have like a sensor where the level of moisture or something that they feel in the microwave is like, oh, the popcorn's done, and then it just turns off. It's not like a given amount of time.
How much do you want to bet that's false?
Maybe, but see, who do we believe?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Aaron's always like, never hit the popcorn button. And like,
I thought Aaron was always hit the popcorn button.
I can't remember, but there's a passionate thing.
Let us know down below, Aaron.
Yeah, do you hit popcorn
button? Or not?
Does anyone hit popcorn button? And give me the reason why.
Yeah, why are you hitting popcorn button? Are you just hitting it strictly because it says popcorn and you trust it?
And then, like, do you remember those microwaves from like the 2000s? I really don't think this exists anymore, but the ones, like the one that used to be up at the cabin where it has like a pizza button,
right,
a potato button,
right.
And I'm like, tell me why. This has to just be a selling point that does not make a difference.
I really don't think it does anything different.
Do microwaves have like, wasn't there a defrost button?
Yes, I think that actually does something.
It like that's the
rotates slower or something,
or like the setting is a little lower. Or,
yeah,
I don't know.
I believe that one, but just
like pizza, what?
I know. What does that mean?
Let me decide on my own temperature of what I want my pizza to be doing, you freak.
Yes.
I think that kind of thing about the microwave walked so that the air fryer could run. Maybe that's what that is. I've
also never ever been good at making popcorn.
Me neither.
I've always failed.
I know. It's either like too much or too little.
It is so rare that I pull out popcorn and everything's popped and it's good and it's ready to eat and it's not burnt to a crisp.
Like, do you err on the side of like, I'm going to pull it early and then have kernels galore? Or slightly burnt taste?
I usually pull it out and I'm like, oh, half of this is literally not popped. Yep. I put it back in, which is always a bad idea to put it back in. I put it back in, it's black.
Yeah,
but still half the kernels are not popped.
See, like, so how is it maybe because you pulled it out and it, like, I don't know, lost the heat factor it had going.
It's an art, really.
It really is an art form.
Well, maybe I should start using the popcorn button.
Well, maybe we should try. But see, Thomas likes his popcorn burnt, so that's not really an issue.
Ew,
he doesn't
burnt
popcorn not straight up burnt, worst. But just like you went 5 seconds too long and there's just a hint of a burned taste.
I don't like that at all.
I'm okay with it, but I'd rather have it be perfect, which again is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
The other thing is, do you ever like put your popcorn in and you think you nailed it and then you pull it out and you start pouring and then you're like, oh no,
it's just all the kernels.
So you're like, I thought I nailed it. What's wrong with me?
Well, like I was never a popcorn household as a child. Like we just did not make popcorn. So it's nothing. It's something I didn't learn.
See, you're going to have to perfect it. Although you don't have a microwave, so I don't know how you're going to do
I don't have a microwave and I don't really like popcorn. So
you're fine.
I think I'm in the clear.
I don't think it matters that you don't know how to do it.
No.
Oh my word.
Yeah, it's weird not to have a microwave, but I'm totally used to it now.
Yeah. It is handy though for like just quick popping in your like coffee or something just to heat that bad boy up.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't know.
Okay, so in my notes here.
Yep.
No, I'm going to ask this, but I think I'm going to appear really stupid.
No, Jen, it's a safe space, but I will laugh in your face.
Is it really?
In your face.
Okay. Yep. Well, here, I'm just going to ask you, and you might be like, seriously, Jen?
Oh, no.
But my question is, how is outer space dark if the sun is up there?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to be blowing smoke out of my booty hole right now.
Okay, do it.
I think the reason is because we on Earth have an atmosphere.
Thanks for not laughing at my question.
I don't think that's a dumb question.
Is it not? Okay.
Because I think the reason I'm not laughing is because the answer, quote unquote, that I have for you is like, I don't know if this is why. This is just kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, tell me.
Which is almost probably more laughable than just asking the question. Is that here on Earth we have an atmosphere and we also have things for the sun to reflect off of. So like we have a tree on our planet, the sun's going to hit the tree and the light from the tree bounces off into our eyes. Mm-hmm. That's why there's light.
That makes sense. But
the sun is what makes it light on our Earth, and the sun's always out in space, but it's dark.
But no, it does make sense to me because if you were to approach the sun, it would be bright.
Well, and I think this is the issue is, again, it's the atmosphere thing, where space is dark, but we see anything out in space because the sun exists or because stars exist. They make their own light.
Right.
But again, here on Earth, the reason why daytime is light is because the sun is hitting our atmosphere and we can see the things in our atmosphere. That
literally makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if that's correct.
I don't know if I'm even explaining what I'm thinking correctly, but
I get what you're saying because there's nothing for it to reflect off of.
Right.
It's just blackness.
Right. Also, what cracks me up, this is such a sidebar, but there's this movie called Armageddon. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm all wet on this too, but I remember feeling really smart when I was watching it because it takes place up in space. We watched it together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Is
this the one with
your guy
Ben
Affleck?
Oh, it's with Ben
Affleck and Bruce Willis.
Yes,
and Liv Tyler. Yeah,
and they're on. They make the potatoes.
Make potatoes.
They can only eat potatoes.
That's The Martian.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, but no, this one is where there's a meteor about to hit Earth, and they go and they try to like destroy it before it hits Earth. So they're on the surface.
That's
of
a great movie.
Yeah, well, it's stupid, but it's great.
Oh. Am I thinking of the right movie?
I think you're thinking of the other Ben Affleck movie that you love.
Okay, whatever.
Anyway, but they're on the surface of this meteor trying to destroy it before it hits Earth.
Okay.
And there's like an explosion out there and something like lights on fire and just continues to be burning. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not possible in space because there's no oxygen. It's a vacuum. So something can't be burning like a fire pit.
Is that true?
I don't know.
You should ask your husband about that.
He'll know all the things. But I just remember thinking, I'm really smart because fire can't exist out in space.
Oh my goodness. Space is so neat.
Scary.
So NASA just released like these photos of the planets. They're the closest, most clear photos we've had of the planets thus far. And they are incredible. Like take your breath away. Beautiful.
Oh my word.
Like I was shocked. So guys,
have to
go look up the NASA planet pictures. They're so pretty.
Word. Which one was your favorite? Do you remember?
So honestly, like I was talking with Julie about, if I wasn't so used to what Earth looks like, I would be blown away by what it looks like.
That is such a fair thing to say. I never really thought about that.
I just feel like we know so well.
Right. Well, especially because like even when there's pictures when we have clouds up in our atmosphere and stuff, it's beautiful.
And the green and the blue.
That's such a good point. I think that's so wholesome. I've never really thought about that before. That's so cute.
It's true.
Yeah.
And and it's like, that's just life too. Like we get so used to staring at the things we're used to, but then like even like the sunsets, like, oh yeah. But it's like, really look at that. That's incredible.
Oh, beautiful.
Or even like the people that you know and love. Like you're like, oh my word, that's my favorite person. They're so cute and beautiful.
It's such a privilege to be alive.
It is.
God bless it.
It is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Life can be pretty and cool. But anywho, my favorite aside from Earth was, I think Pluto was so pretty.
Really?
And they included Pluto, so
God bless. Thank you, NASA.
Everyone can like relax about Pluto not being a planet because it's my favorite planet.
Hey, amen to that.
And that's NASA included it in their list of planets, so I think it's back on.
Pluto's back.
Pluto's back.
Write that down. Pluto's back.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my word. Okay, I'm gonna have to look those up. I love that.
I was also like learning some cool facts about outer space this week.
Oh, tell me some.
Well, now I'm gonna butcher them all, but like, there's this.
Okay, I can always cut it if you're feeling too nervous.
Oh, I'm trying to even think of.
Oh, like the details.
Yeah, like to make it accurate.
Well, did you know? Thomas just told me, and I forgot this, but they had a helicopter up on Mars a couple of years ago now. Like it was the first flight on a planet that's not Earth.
Oh wow!
And they have a piece of the Wright brothers airplane in that helicopter.
What?
So that like it was like the first flight on Earth also was part of the first flight on Mars.
Okay, that's like, so
isn't
special.
That cute?
Oh
it's
my
little
goodness!
Things like that. Where I'm like,
a tear is approaching my eye.
Wow, it's little stuff like that. I'm like, human beings can be kind of cute.
Yeah, that's adorable.
I know, isn't it?
Well, okay, I'm trying to even think of anything cool, but like the amount of Earths that we could fit into the sun was mind-boggling to me. It was like 1 million Earths could fit into the sun, or like something incredible.
The number, even if it was 100, my brain would be like, "That's crazy."
Oh, and this isn't about space, but I also learned that like all 7 continents could fit into the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, interesting.
Which just goes to show how huge that body of water is.
Like I learned that every single human being on the planet could stand shoulder to shoulder in North America.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So many cool fun facts.
All the little also who gets to decide those numbers?
That's true, because it's not like you're actually doing that.
There are enough plastic water bottles to wrap around the earth 3 times.
Or there's enough the chicken one. Have you heard that one?
No.
There's enough chickens in the world to go up and down to the sun and back if they're stacked on top of each other like 3 times or something.
I just like, I'm like, I know we can get a general idea, but I'm like, for people to be with confidence, like it's 5 times to the sun and back with those chickens. I'm like, calm down.
But I'm also like always so excited and impressed by those facts.
What is with us? And we're like, we love a number like that.
We love it. Because I think it's something, those types of things are so out of our realm of understanding that when we have a way to understand it, we're like,
that's true.
That's so cool.
That's true.
Like when that analogy about like comparing how much bigger a billion is compared to a million.
Crazy.
So like a billion is like if you're standing in line for something, you'd be standing in line for 12 days. Whereas a billion would be 35 years or something.
Crazy. And you're like, whoa.
I did not say that correct at all, but like that just blew my mind.
Crazy sauce.
But anyway, when you were talking about like humans are cute or whatever, it made me think of the movie Inside Out 2.
Okay, yeah.
And I know you and I went to go see that movie together in the theater.
We did.
And you had a completely different feeling towards the movie than I did.
Yes.
I loved the movie. Yeah. And I felt very seen by the movie. And I felt like it was made for like, in the same way that Frozen 2 is made for that audience that watched Frozen 1 when they were younger. Inside Out 2 was made for the older audience that watched.
I would totally agree with that.
And like I showed Julia this movie this week because she hadn't seen it.
Okay.
And I was like, Jules, we should watch this. Like, I really liked it. I was trying to get
Thomas to watch it the other night, but he wasn't down.
Yeah. Anyway, we were both sobbing.
Were you?
Like, literally just on our couch, just like choking on our tears.
Maybe I should give him another shot.
So, and I was trying, and Julia's like, why didn't Greta like this? And I'm like, I was trying to remember why, but I don't remember what you said.
And I don't even know if I could remember. I just remember watching it and thinking, I do think it's relatable. And I think Disney, they did it again. It's very clever, blah, blah, blah. I just kind of feel like watching it made me feel kind of sick because of how accurate it was.
So it was like your own deal. It wasn't relaxing the movie itself.
To me. It was stressful. And I've heard people say that about Inside Out 1.
Inside Out 1 stresses me out so bad.
See, maybe we just have opposite experiences.
I do not like that movie.
Because I love the first one.
Really?
And I felt like
the first one makes me sick.
I related to it greatly. And the second one was like, it just felt too much like being a teenager to me, which was the point.
The point of the movie.
And so I'm like, they did a great job. But I was just like, it made me feel kind of icky. And I just don't want to go back there.
So it wasn't the movie itself,
no,
like in the way it was done.
The movie was fine. I do think it still has flavors of like Disney's kind of losing their touch. I do think a little bit, but it was good. It was decent. I just like the first one way better.
Okay, and I just had the complete opposite experience.
And as far as my connection with it, I was just like, I think lots of people will love this, and that's very fair. But I'm just like, it just felt too much like being a teenager, and I'm like, yuck, do not take me back there.
Right, and it just felt like so. Like, it touched on some really deep issues. Sure. And I felt like that was really good. And the way they did it was clever, but also being not cheesy.
Right. I hear you.
I don't know.
I hear you.
I really enjoyed that movie.
The part where, and you're going to have to fill me in since you just watched it, but the part where Joy was having like a breakdown, I didn't like that part.
You didn't like it because you're like, she's Joy, how can she be
Joy,
sad?
How can she have a moment like that? It kind of was like inconsistent.
I see what you mean by that, but we kind of have to see her fall apart a little bit.
Well, because similarly in the first one, sadness isn't always just terminally sad.
Right, she's not bawling every second.
But I just felt like for Joy to lose her hope, kind of undermined her entire character, like how she has that consistency, which that's the point. People aren't consistent. We change. But I'm like, I don't feel like your emotions, which are inherent and like give you that personality, can change within you. Like, that didn't make sense to me.
I understand. I totally get what you're saying. But I feel like it was an important character arc and like development of the story when she's like, they're like, are you delusional? She's like, of course I'm delusional.
Right.
I'm trying to keep everybody together all the time and be happy about it. True. Of course I'm delusional.
And that's I think that's the problem with Inside Out in general. It can only, to a degree, be consistent. Yeah, exactly. Because you have to be able to tell some of those story. Rules. Exactly.
Yeah. And just like the part when like, so she has like her sense of self and anxiety comes and takes away that sense of self and replaces it with only anxiety. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough. I'm this, I'm that, you know. Whereas her other one was like, I'm a good person. I'm a good friend. I'm confident. Like all these things. And Joy's whole thing was you have to protect that at all costs. Like that's who she is. And then the whole thing, she goes on the journey to get her sense of self back, to bring it back to, her brain or whatever. Yeah. And she replaces it back. She puts her sense of self back. Yep. And then they're like, why isn't it working? Why isn't she calming down or whatever? And Joy goes and removes it again, and then a new sense of self is born to where it's like, I'm not good enough. I'm confident. I can.
It's a mixture.
I make my parents proud. I'm bad at this task. And that's where it really got me, because I'm like, that's beautiful. Like as we grow and develop more of who we are and like have life experiences, we realize we're not that great. Well, but we also have things about us that are awesome and like gifts from God, and like it just was like a beautiful.
Okay, see, I remember this, and I remember thinking that's super clever, and I agree with everything you're saying. It's like, oh, I feel so seen by that, because that is the human experience. Yes. And when you get to a certain age and you start to become anxious and you become self-aware in a way that a teenager and an adult does, I think it was cool that they touched on that. I guess part of the reason why I struggled with it, though, is I'm like, this is exactly what happened in the first one. Because she has these core memories that get lost. We bring them back. They used to be purely ones of joy, purely ones of sadness. But then when they come back, they start to become mixed emotions. Okay. And to me, it was kind of the same exact thing. They just I
don't remember the first one well at all. So maybe it was just like a brand new experience.
So maybe that's why we both kind of had a different experience, because I was like, I just feel like they kind of already did this. Yeah. And for you, like, this was a slightly higher message, a heightened than the last version
of it, because I related to it as an adult.
Right. No, but I do think it's very well done.
And her and Joy being like, she's like, there's just, I guess, not as much joy when you get older. Like that literally hard. Destroyed me.
That hits hard. I heard a quote from a podcast recently where one of the hosts she was like, I've kind of just realized like I'm just always have like a little healthy level of sad. Yeah. I'm always just a little healthy level of sad. I think that's
normal because of the way our world is. And
true.
And
like, I think that is part of being an adult, is just being like, I think as a kid, not every kid has this experience, but I think you and I grew up in households where we were fortunate enough to be like, we had happy childhoods overall, and like we had the kid experience. Right. And as an adult, you start to see the world for what it is. And like you just become a healthy level of sad. And I think, it's good. It's normal, mature. And but anyway, no, Inside Out 2, very clever. Yeah, beautiful animation. Yes. I enjoyed the story. I thought the story was good. I guess I just felt I was hoping for more. I felt like it was more of the same.
Okay. I maybe have to watch number 1 again to see how similar they were. But
I remember bawling when I watched the first one. And that's how I was going through a phase where I hadn't been crying, and I was like so thankful.
You're like, oh, this has released it all.
The other night, instead of watching Inside Out 2, I got Thomas to finally watch Luca.
Speaking of bawling,
so good.
That's an incredible film.
So cozy.
It's so underrated. Why has no one talked about it ever?
No one talks about Luca still.
Everyone's like, oh, Encanto. No. Have you seen Luca?
It's so cute and so gorgeous and so
heartfelt and beautiful.
The music is talk about crying. So good.
Shirt wet tears on that movie.
Oh, I know. I hear you. I mean, he and I both fell asleep kind of near the end, so I think we'll have to watch the last 10 minutes.
Because the ending is the part that gets you.
We both woke up when he was on the train leaving, and so he got the gist. But like the first
he missed
hour,
the whole thing.
But he liked it.
Okay, but...
Which I was glad by, because you know how hard it is for him to like a movie.
I know, and I pick it all apart.
Yeah, but okay, also the part that you and I chuckle at, where he's like laying in bed at night trying to sleep, and he turns over because he sleeps in the same room as his grandma, and he goes, "Grandma," and she goes... Just like snoring with her eyes open. Do you remember that?
Yes, of course.
It was making me chuckle. I kept going, oh, Jen and I love this part. He's
like, okay. There's so many laugh out loud moments in that movie too. Funny. I can't think of any of them right now.
That bad guy's like, who wants to watch me eat the big sandwich?
That's not what I was thinking of. I think of the part where he's going on. There's something about him going on that ramp that's funny.
Yes.
What is it?
It made me laugh so hard again. It was, they're testing out the homemade Vespas they made, and they go down the hill and then off the ramp into the water, and they keep failing. And the first time they do it, what's his friend's name?
I don't know.
Anyway, he is the one to test it. He goes down the hill, he goes off the ramp, and by the end of it, the Vespa had fallen apart. So he's just hanging in the air by himself, and he pauses midair and he goes, and then he falls in the water.
That's not what I'm thinking of, though.
It is, though.
Is it?
Yes, you and I chuckled.
Okay, maybe the physical comedy of that is funnier than show you funnier than.
Everyone Google that part. Hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
Okay, so go watch Luca and stop. Yeah.
Luca and Inside Out 2. Otherwise, Disney is falling apart, but we don't need to get into it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at least.
On that note, go make some popcorn with the popcorn setting.
Yep. Go turn on Disney Plus.
And go turn on Disney Plus. Watch Luck of the Irish.
Absolutely.
Get your hair cut whenever you want.
Yep. And online dating is hard, but go give it a shot and see what happens.
Yes. We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Bye, Greta. I love you.
Bye, Jenny. I love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.